Hello. How can sock puppets help you to study and inspect calls? Well, Jim Henson, who created the Muppets, he said that puppets are little actors, which I think is absolutely wonderful. Now, you will watch a version of An Inspector Calls, of course, and there are wonderful film versions. But then I think once you start to open the book, it's very important not to think of it as a book, but to think of it as a script. What's all this about? Nothing to do with you, Sheila. Run along. They are a reminder that these characters are creations for the stage. Each character is the result of hundreds of decisions that Priestley made. Oh, Gerald, you've got it! Is it the one you wanted me to have? When you watch a film, you can't slow it down, but puppets can do the stage directions slowly so that you can explore them. Sheila, taking out the ring. Oh, it's wonderful. Look, Mummy, isn't it a beauty? Oh, darling. She kisses Gerald hastily. Now, you're going to be much more likely to remember that if you do it yourself than if you just read it. This is Sheila before she realises what she's done. And this is Sheila when she realises and she asks the question, so I'm really responsible? And you can look at the play yourself and make your own discoveries about when the characters wake up. This has got nothing to do with whether they can see or not. It's moral vision, their sense of responsibility. It's how Priestley dramatises that moral awakening. A hugely important moment is when Sheila recognises the photograph that the inspector shows her. So we'll look at the stage directions closely now. She looks at it closely, recognises it with a little cry, gives a half-stifled sob, and then runs out. When you've watched a version of the play, and then you go back to it, you soon see that they've made changes. And although that's interesting, it's very important when you're studying for the exam to focus on what Priestley actually wrote. I don't come into this suicide business. I thought I didn't. Half an hour ago. You don't. Neither of us does. So for God's sake, don't say anything to the inspector. About you and this girl? Yes. You can keep it from him. Why, you fool! He knows! The other thing you start to notice is how we watch Sheila grow up on stage. She says Mummy in Act 1, and then later Mother, when she's quite horrified about her mother's inability to see her own responsibility. So you'll notice all sorts of little details with these. Plus it's fun. You know, when you've got piles and piles of notes and you've got to read through them all, you can pick out something, a quote that you have to learn, and really bring it to life. I think that's part of the point of all this, really. So it's Act 3, and it's Eric's turn to answer questions. Miserably, Eric says, "Could I have a drink first?" "No," says Burling. But the inspector says yes. "I know he's your son, etc. But look at him. He needs a drink now just to see him through." And the stage directions are that Eric goes for a whiskey. His whole manner of handling the decanter and then a drink shows his familiarity with quick, heavy drinking. The others watch him narrowly. And he says bitterly, "I understand a lot of things now I didn't understand before." To make your puppet, you just get a sock and put some cotton wool in the toe. That's where the nose is going to be. Your thumb is going to go in the heel. So it's going to be like this. I'll put my thumb, that's my thumb going in there. And then you form the nose, and you have one morally blind, rather evasive Gerald sock puppet. Yes. Mr. Burling and Mrs. Burling. They have no eyes. They will never get eyes because they never acquire moral vision. They never see the effect that they have on others. For the inspector, I don't use a sock. I use this rather terrifying magnifying glass to remind me that he's there to scrutinise the characters, and also that when we leave the play, we may be feeling rather uncomfortable, but we're asking ourselves, would we be able to withstand the scrutiny of the inspector? And he makes us look at ourselves. I think that's what the play does. Also, he's not human. He's not like the other characters. There's something perhaps supernatural about him. The first time you read the play, you'll go through it in chronological order, from start to finish. But then once you've done that, move around, make comparisons, compare one bit with another, look at how one character changes, compare the characters, look at it from as many angles as you can. When are you going to stop talking? All right, I'll stop talking now. Thank you. Well, do you like playing Burling? Oh, yes. Why is that then? Oh, you get these gasps from the audience because he just doesn't see what's right in front of him. And what about you? Do you like playing Mrs. Burling? Yes, I do. She's all about control. That's true. You know, she tries to control her husband. Even after 20 years, she's still telling him how to speak. Yeah. In Act 2, Mrs. Burling says to Sheila, "Nothing but morbid curiosity. No, it isn't. Please don't contradict me like that." What does that tell you about their relationship? Why do you think they're so blind? Well, family is everything to them. Yes, that's right. Family and business and status. That's right. Reputation. Absolutely right. Their own family, of course. Yes. Everybody else can just look after themselves. That's right. Edna enters. "Please, sir, an inspector's called." "An inspector? What kind of inspector?" "A police inspector. He says his name's Inspector Gould." Oh, I love saying that. I love it. Why do you love it? Well, the name Gould, it just sends shivers down my spine. I mean, he announces a death, so Gould, but I think there's more to it than that. I think he haunts you. You're haunted by this play when you've seen it. Yeah, I think you might be onto something. I love the fact that I'm showing him in, you know, and I give him light and then I leave. That's true. Yeah, it's important, isn't it? And it's important because I'm a member of the class that he is the spokesman of. Yeah, I know what you mean. Yeah.